In the 19th century, naturalists mapping the deepest reaches of the Amazon returned with detailed accounts of enormous snakes. Men like Henry Walter Bates and Alfred Russel Wallace systematically documented local reports of anacondas stretching 9 to 12 meters long. By the early 20th century, the claims grew even larger. In 1907, British explorer Percy Fawcett reported encountering an anaconda measuring over 18 meters in length. The prospect of finding these massive creatures was taken entirely seriously. Around 1910, former U.S. President Theodore Roosevelt offered a $50,000 reward for anyone delivering a 10-meter anaconda. The prize was meant for the Bronx Zoo, but the money was absolutely never claimed. This animated comparison shows the glaring discrepancy in the data. The bottom line represents the largest scientifically documented anaconda in the Natural History Museum of London, exactly 8.43 meters. The top line represents the 18 meters claimed by explorers like Fawcett. When you look exclusively at the museum ledgers, the physical proof stops at 8.5 meters. Without hard physical evidence, the giant anaconda appears to be an exaggerated jungle myth. But deep in the geologic record, researchers unearthed something throwing that biological limit into question. Beneath a Colombian coal mine, paleontologists discovered the remains of a snake from the ancient Amazon that reached up to 15 meters long and weighed over a metric ton. They named it Titanoboa. Titanoboa belonged to the exact same evolutionary family as the modern green anaconda. It relied on the exact same constricting anatomy, just scaled up to a size rarely seen in Earth's history. Since the evolutionary hardware for massive size exists within this specific lineage, we have to ask, are the century-old reports of giant snakes purely fiction? Or is the Amazon ecosystem actively hiding the evidence? The modern green anaconda is semi-aquatic, spending the vast majority of its life hunting and digesting deep within flooded forests and murky river systems. Unlike mammals that plateau, anacondas experience indeterminate growth, continually increasing in size throughout their lifespan. On land, continuous growth is fatal. Gravity crushes heavy bones. But water provides a loophole. Buoyancy perfectly counteracts gravity, allowing them to sustain massive bodies. Biologically and physically, there is absolutely nothing stopping an old, well-fed modern anaconda from approaching prehistoric scale. If they have the biology to grow that large, why aren't explorers constantly photographing them? A 2025 telemetry study conducted in the Peruvian Amazon provides an answer. For over a decade, scientists attached radio transmitters to wild anacondas, allowing them to track the animals to exact GPS coordinates. The data revealed incredibly stealthy behavior. Even when scientists stood exactly where the signal indicated a snake was resting, they could visibly detect the animal only 17% of the time. These ambush predators spend their days completely submerged in zero-visibility water, perfectly hidden inside dense riverbank root systems, or buried beneath thick leaf litter with only their nostrils exposed to the air. The modern anaconda is essentially a living ghost, perfectly evolved to evade visual confirmation, even from actively searching scientists. Even if a living giant hides perfectly, it eventually dies. So where are the massive skeletons? Tropical rainforests happen to be one of the absolute worst environments on Earth for preserving fossils. This cross-section shows the chemical reality of the jungle floor. Intense heat, extreme moisture, and highly acidic soils act aggressively on organic remains. Together, these conditions rapidly dissolve bone, destroying all physical traces of an animal. Finding the fossils of Titanoboa was a total geologic anomaly. Those bones survived exclusively because they were rapidly buried in sediment that later became a Colombian coal mine, safely sealed from the jungle's acidic topsoil. The Amazon is a bone-destroying machine, continuously erasing the biological history of the creatures that die within it. The Amazon rainforest covers nearly 7 million square kilometers. It is a dense labyrinth of flooded forests, wetlands, and isolated tributaries that remain largely inaccessible. Within this massive ecosystem, the anaconda operates with an extraordinary set of biological advantages, a mechanism for unlimited growth, an aquatic habitat that ignores gravity, and perfect camouflage. Pair those traits with an environment highly hostile to long-term evidence, an impenetrable landscape that actively eats the bones of its dead. In a museum collection, an absence of evidence usually proves that a creature is a myth. But in the Amazon, this absence of evidence is an expected feature of the biome itself. Science cannot currently verify the existence of a 15-meter anaconda today, but if a massive prehistoric remnant were still hiding on Earth, this ecosystem is the only place perfectly designed to keep it